How you doing, everybody? My name is Dr. Sammy BAYA. Please welcome back to my YouTube channel. The narcissist is watching everything that you do. That's the title of today's episode. Understanding narcissistic observation. Narcissists are often deeply preoccupied with their own self-image and sense of superiority. One of the ways this manifests is through their constant observation of others. This behavior stems from their need to assert control, maintain superiority, and validate their self-worth. Narcissists have an intrinsic need to control their environment and the people within it. By watching everything that others do, they attempt to assert dominance and ensure that nothing happens without their knowledge. This level of surveillance helps them maintain a sense of control over their surroundings. Despite their outward confidence, narcissists are often deeply insecure. Observing others' actions provides them with constant opportunities to compare and affirm their own perceived superiority. By closely monitoring people, they seek validation and reassurance about their place in the social hierarchy. The narcissist's observation is not always benign. They often use the information they gather to manipulate or exploit others. By knowing every detail about someone's behavior, they can craftily employ this knowledge to their advantage, steering conversations or situations to suit their needs. In personal relationships, this constant surveillance can be particularly damaging. The feeling of being watched can create an atmosphere of paranoia and anxiety, undermining trust and intimacy. Victims may feel like they are constantly under scrutiny, which can erode their sense of self-worth and autonomy. Narcissists in the workplace may use their observation to undermine colleagues and assert their dominance. They might keep track of others' performance, behaviors, and mistakes to use this information strategically, either to discredit others or to position themselves as superior. The constant surveillance by a narcissist can lead to significant psychological distress. Victims may experience heightened stress, anxiety, and depression as they feel perpetually observed and judged. This emotional strain can impact their overall mental health and well-being. Narcissists often have poor boundaries, and their habit of watching everything others do is a clear example of this. They might intrude into personal spaces, monitor private conversations, or invade privacy, all of which contribute to a sense of violation for the observed individuals. Narcissists might use the observations to gaslight others. By keeping meticulous track of details and then distorting or denying those details, they can make victims question their own perceptions and reality. This tactic further destabilizes the victim's sense of truth and self. In the digital age, narcissists may extend their observation to social media and online platforms. They scrutinize every post, comment, and interaction to gather information, track their targets, and potentially use this data to manipulate or control them. Narcissists' observation is often driven by their need to maintain their self-image. By closely monitoring others, they can ensure that their position and status are upheld, and they can react swiftly to any perceived threats to their superiority or self-esteem. Victims of narcissistic observation may develop paranoia and trust issues. Knowing that they are under constant scrutiny can make them wary of others' intentions and interactions, leading to a pervasive sense of mistrust and isolation. Narcissists use observation as a means to reinforce power dynamics. By being aware of every detail, they can control conversations and situations, ensuring that they remain at the center of attention and that their authority is not challenged. The narcissist's observation is often selective and biased. They focus on specific behaviors or traits that reinforce their negative views of others while ignoring positive aspects. This selective observation helps them maintain their narrative of superiority. By observing every detail, narcissists can emotionally manipulate others more effectively. They might use this information to create scenarios that provoke emotional responses, playing on the victim's insecurities or fears to maintain control. Narcissists may use the observation to isolate their victims. By monitoring and controlling interactions, they can prevent their targets from forming supportive relationships outside of the narcissist's influence, thereby increasing their control and dependency. When confronted about their invasive behavior, narcissists may deflect blame onto their victims. They might accuse others of being overly sensitive or paranoid, using the observations to justify their invasive actions and avoid accountability. Constant observation reinforces the victim's dependency on the narcissist. By monitoring and controlling every aspect of their life, the narcissist makes it difficult for the victim to function independently, thereby cementing their power and control. Narcissists often observe strategically, focusing on aspects that they can use to their advantage. This might include tracking vulnerabilities, tracking personal weaknesses, or noting any behavior that could be exploited for manipulation. The pervasive sense of being watched can instill fear and compel compliance. Victims might feel pressured to conform to the narcissist's expectations and desires, fearing repercussions or judgment if they deviate from what is perceived as acceptable behavior. Narcissists may use the observations to construct a false narrative that supports their worldview. By selectively interpreting and presenting information, they can create a distorted picture of reality that serves their interests and reinforces their sense of superiority. Some victims might alter their behavior to avoid conflict or scrutiny from the narcissist. This can lead to a compromised sense of self, where individuals suppress their true feelings and desires to avoid drawing the narcissist's negative attention. Knowing that they are being observed can influence how individuals behave. Victims might act differently, either by overly accommodating the narcissist or by becoming defensive, which can further complicate interactions and exacerbate relational issues. Observing others can be a source of narcissistic supply, a term used to describe the validation and attention that narcissists crave. By watching and monitoring others, they derive a sense of gratification and reinforcement of their own importance. Narcissists often use observation to create and maintain dependency. By keeping close tabs on others, they ensure that their victims remain reliant on them for validation and support, thereby solidifying their control. The long-term effects of being under constant observation by a narcissist can be profound. Victims may experience chronic anxiety, diminished self-esteem, and difficulties in trusting others. The emotional scars from such experiences can have lasting impacts on their mental health and relationships. Developing effective coping strategies is crucial for those affected by narcissistic observation. This might include setting clear boundaries, seeking support from trusted individuals, and engaging in self-care practices to mitigate the impact of the narcissist's behavior. Professional help can be invaluable for individuals dealing with the effects of narcissistic observation. Therapy can provide a safe space to explore and address the emotional impact, develop strategies for dealing with the narcissist, and work on rebuilding self-esteem and confidence. Recovery from the effects of narcissistic observation involves reclaiming personal power and rebuilding self-worth. Through therapeutic interventions and supportive relationships, individuals can regain a sense of autonomy and heal from the psychological damage inflicted by the narcissist. In conclusion, the narcissist's behavior of watching everything others do is a manifestation of their deep-seated need for control and validation. Understanding the dynamics of this behavior and its impact is crucial for those affected, as well as for developing effective strategies for coping and healing. Recognizing the patterns and seeking appropriate support can pave the way for recovery and personal empowerment. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've learned a thing or two. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you've not done so. Thank you.